Among the many gems of Chicago are its rich waterways, the brilliant lakefront, and the Chicago River, which partly runs right through downtown.
I mean, this is like one of our biggest assets in the city of Chicago.
It didn't used to be. Chicago was a bustling industrial hub in the 1800s, but with development came waste, and the Chicago River became a river of refuse.
Because for the longest time in Chicago, people were scared that if that water touches me, it's probably acid and it's going to burn me to death, you know. So it's like, how do you get over those fears?
Then came the Renaissance. A river walk was completed in 2016, a pathway serving as a literal bridge between the river and residents, an urban sanctuary bustling with plant and other wildlife. Tanvi Park of the architectural and urban planning firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill set her sights farther north along the river, a bustling spot for barges in the past.
So how do you bring people down to the river? And there was nothing really for the people to come to the river.
That changed in 2022. This stretch experienced a revival of its own, turning into a floating eco-park appropriately named the Wild Mile.
Let's introduce plant life to clean the water. Let's introduce space for wildlife habitat. Let's create a new amenity for the people who live in the surrounding.
The firm, in partnership with the city and the nonprofit Urban Rivers, introduced floating gardens of native plants and animals, a new ecosystem where wildlife can thrive.
It's a great model in terms of what the future of urban waterfronts and riverfront design can be in cities worldwide.
This vision of sustainability isn't just confined here to the Wild Mile. In fact, the firm is setting its goals high, very high you might say, all the way up to the Chicago skyline. When Luke Lung gazes at the Chicago skyline, he sees opportunity.
It's a lot of concrete and steel. They emit a lot of carbon. They call it the Godzilla problem of the earth. Like this carbon is like the Godzilla. The carbon dioxide concentration right now, where we are in, is about 400 parts per million. In a building where there are a lot of people, it could be as high as 1,000 parts per million, almost 2-3 times more.
That's the vision behind Urban Sequoia, a project that views high-rise buildings like the world's tallest trees, in other words, as living beings.
This building also has the capacity to take in carbon dioxide from the air and then remove the carbon, sequester the carbon from the air. So they will be acting like a sequoia tree.
It's a radical reimagination of modern buildings where carbon is captured inside the building, then eventually repurposed as biomaterials for roads, for example.
It could be a resource for nature, and it also could be a material to be used in our urban environment. Now, some places, they actually use the carbon, they sequester from the air to make noodles out of it, so it could become a food source too.
Designers say the concept can be applied to any building of any size in any location. This building has the capacity of reaching net zero in its first 5 years. And over 100 years, Lung says it would absorb more than 300% of the amount of carbon emitted from its construction and operation.
So that's what we are thinking. Rather than have this open-ended, right, you build a building and then it stops there, it doesn't recirculate back to the nature.
The need is an urgent one. The United Nations says the building sector contributes to nearly 40% of the world's total carbon emissions. And with burgeoning urban populations, it's predicted that by 2060, another 230 billion square meters of new buildings will go up. The firm presented its Urban Sequoia design at both the COP26 and COP27 UN climate change conferences, hoping to attract the attention of developers to turn this green vision into reality.
We've been now moving towards a future where we believe in a place where human and nature will thrive together.
Francis Ko, CGTN, Chicago.